everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name's Lindsay and I bring content on clean beauty and skincare. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the clean beauty products that have replaced my old conventional beauty favorites. I thought this video would be super fun to do because I don't know if you guys know this already. I have talked about it a little bit before, but I've always been a beauty enthusiast and I was really big into conventional beauty, so I was really used to high performing products. So when I switched over to clean beauty, I think it was pretty hard for me to find products that kind of met up to the older products I was using. But now I feel like I have a good array of products that I really love now, and I feel like some of them even perform better than the old conventional products that I used to use. I'm super excited to show you guys all these clean beauty dupes, so let me get right into it. So I'm going to first start off with my base products and then we'll move on from there. So first off, I have a foundation to talk about. So the last foundation I remember really being obsessed with was the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Full Coverage Foundation. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hold on. Damn ring light. This is what the foundation looks like. Now this foundation was super high coverage, like the most high coverage foundation I've ever tried, like even more than the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo foundation, which was notorious for having super high coverage. Like that foundation was crazy pigmented, like you literally did a dot on your face and it would cover like literally a whole half of your face. It was crazy. I was really big into full coverage foundations. I don't really know why. My skin wasn't that bad. I kind of just like the look of like a totally blank canvas. Face makeup has always been my favorite like part of my makeup routine. I was really just into full coverage foundations. So the clean foundation that has replaced that old one for me is the Gressa Minimalist Serum Foundation. Now this definitely doesn't have as much coverage as that. I don't think anything has as much coverage as that foundation because it's like weirdly crazy pigmented. I feel like the formula is actually really similar to the Marc Jacobs one. This is a serum foundation, so it has almost like an oily, but it's not, it's more of like a satiny feel. Marc Jacobs one I used to use sort of had that same feel to it. It wasn't really oily, but it had a really like velvety satin finish to it, but it did almost feel like an oil on the skin, but when it set, it was like set for good. So I feel like these definitely have a similar feel on the skin. Like I said, this one doesn't have as much coverage, but honestly I don't need the amount of full coverage that that foundation provides, so I really like this Gressa one. I have a couple videos on this. If you guys haven't seen them already, I will link them in the description below. I have some reviews, demos, and comparisons of this foundation. I have the shade 01, which is like my natural skin tone, which I have right now. I don't have any self-tanner on. In my past videos, I had a light layer self-tan. You guys will see me like on and off self-tanning. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I just don't feel like it, but this is like my natural shade match. I do have a good amount of shades. If you want to check this foundation out, it is a really good one. This is one of the first foundations I tried in clean beauty and it's definitely become a favorite of mine, so check this out if you haven't already. Next, moving on to the concealer dupe. My old conventional favorite concealer was of course the Tarte Shape Tape. I don't even think I need to show you guys a picture of that because who hasn't heard of Shape Tape? It like blew up the whole beauty industry. Like it's everyone's favorite concealer. I don't know if people still use that. Like I honestly had mine until a couple months ago. I threw it away because it was getting old. I mean, the formula on that was just incredible. It was super high coverage. It didn't crease, it didn't cake. I had the hardest time finding a concealer that didn't make my under eyes look like crepey or like wrinkly or just weird. But my clean dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape is actually a mixture of two concealers. Now you guys have heard me talk about the Clove and Hollow concealer on my channel before. I mention it all the time. Definitely my favorite clean concealer. The other one is actually something that's new to me. It's the Hahn Cosmetics all natural concealer. This is cruelty-free and vegan, so is the Clove and Hollow one. This is the shade Fair. So I would say that these two mixed together are like my perfect concealer. The Hahn Cosmetics concealer has more coverage than the Clove and Hollow one. This is more of a creamy, thicker formula, more similar to the Tarte Shape Tape, but I feel like it does get a little heavy looking around the eyes, which is why I like to mix it with the Clove and Hollow one, because this one is gorgeous under the eyes. You can also just use the Clove and Hollow one under the eyes and then use this to spot conceal, but I've actually been mixing these two together, putting them under the eyes, and they're just amazing. Both of these last a really long time. They don't crease on me. They don't look like cakey. They're so beautiful on the skin. I'm so impressed with these two. Like, yes, love them. They're there on my hand. This one right here is the Hahn Cosmetics one. It's a bit lighter than the Clove and Hollow one. The Clove and Hollow shade I have is 02, by the way. But yeah, both of these concealers are beautiful. They're both super affordable as well. If you want to pick both of these up, they're beautiful to mix. It's also just really good to have both of these on hand because this one, like I said, is beautiful for the under eyes, and then this one is really good for spot concealing. Or you could also use it under the eyes. I would just say use a little bit and blend it out. Really full coverage. These are just incredible concealers and I really love them. Moving right along to setting powders, I actually have the old setting powder I used to use here. So this one's from Coverfx. This is their illuminating setting powder. Now these Coverfx powders actually have pretty good ingredients. They are talc free. I mean, they're not the cleanest formulas, but they're better than most, which is why I still have this one because I use it occasionally. It does have a little bit of shimmer in it, which just gives your skin a really nice glow. I don't really prefer this under the eyes because it can just like accentuate any sort of texture you have. But this is a really beautiful powder that I used to love. I had a couple other ones. I think I had the regular powder as well. Like I said, these do have better ingredients, but if you want an even cleaner powder, one that I feel like is exactly the same to that one is the Dupes Beauty Phytopigment Flawless Finishing Powder. This doesn't claim to be an illuminating powder, but it has the same sort of like luminescence that I find the Coverfx one has. If you have dry skin or if you just want a really glowy look, this is a beautiful powder to pick up. I really like the packaging as well. Like I said before, this one isn't horrible with its ingredients, but if you want a cleaner option, the Dupes Beauty one I've been loving. I do still have both of these on hand. I will throw this out once it expires, which is, I don't really know when. The next product I want to mention is actually something I just tried out, but once I tried it out, it like brought me flashbacks of this one product I used to use all the time. I went through so many compacts of them. It was my favorite powder. It was the MAC Mineralized Skinfinish. If you guys don't know what it looks like, kind of just comes in your classic MAC compact. It was like a very light powder foundation. It had a little bit of shimmer through it. It was just really beautiful. I didn't use it as a powder foundation. I would use it on top of foundation just to add a little bit more coverage and to set my face. And I just tried out this Well People Bio Base Baked Foundation. And when I tried this out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the MAC Mineralized Skinfinish, but the clean version of it. It looks just like it. It's baked just like the MAC one is. It has such a similar feel and like look to it. It is more of a matte finish, but it has that sheen through it, so it doesn't look flat. So beautiful. It reminds me so much of the MAC one, and definitely a really great powder. This doesn't have a ton of coverage, but I like using it just how I used to use the MAC Mineralized Skinfinish. Is I just do my regular liquid foundation, and then I take this with a big fluffy brush and just set my face. It gives you a boost of coverage and just gives your skin the most beautiful finish. I've been really loving this. So if you guys are looking for a powder that gives you some extra coverage or just a really beautiful finish to the skin, definitely check this one out from Well People. Moving on to bronzer, my old favorite bronzer was the Nars Laguna. If you guys have never used that or seen it in person, it's more of a warm tone bronzer. It has a little bit of golden shimmer in it. I just really liked it because even though I was fair, it didn't look too orange or too muddy on me. Now my dupe for that is actually, I have two different products here to show you that I think are really similar to it. First off is the bronzer in the Lolo Sculpt and Glow palette. This I feel like is so similar to the Nars Laguna bronzer. The formula on this is really smooth. It doesn't ever look patchy. That's it right there on my hand. It doesn't have any sort of golden shimmer to it, but it does just have a really beautiful sheen. The shade is what reminds me of the Laguna bronzer, is that it's on the warmer side, but it's not too orangey. It's just a really beautiful bronzer. The highlight in this palette, sorry, I just blinded you guys. The highlight in this palette is beautiful as well. If you guys haven't checked this out, it's a good one to pick up. Then the other bronzer that reminds me of it is another Well People Bio Baked product. This is their Bio Baked Bronzer. I really love these. I haven't seen any like baked products besides the Antonin blushes in Clean Beauty, at least that I've seen. I'm sure there are more than that. But that's the Well People bronzer right there. It's definitely more of a red tone and a bit deeper, but just the sheen on this is really gorgeous. It reminds me of the Laguna one. I just really love a like nice light shimmery bronzer, but not too shimmery, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I would say the Lily Lolo one shade reminds me the most of Laguna bronzer, but the finish on this one reminds me of it because it has that like golden luminescence to it. What did I just do with my hand? Yeah, these are beautiful bronzers. I also really love the Hahn Cosmetics Malibu bronzer. That doesn't really compare to the Laguna one because it doesn't have any shimmer to it. and it's a totally different shade, but that one actually reminds me of the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. If you guys have ever tried that, the milk chocolate one, I would say it compares the most to, because it is a really light matte chocolate brown. Perfect if you have fair skin or if you just need a really light natural bronzer. That one's amazing. I will link that below as well. Alright, let's move on to blush. Now this one I feel like is basically an exact dupe. It's the Nars Orgasm blush. I used to have the Nars Orgasm and Laguna Duo, and I loved both of those. If you guys have never seen the Nars Orgasm blush, it's a really popular blush. I feel like everyone's heard of it. If you've ever been in Sephora, you've probably seen it. It's basically your classic peachy pink with a really strong gold sheen to it. So the dupe that I feel like is exactly the same is the Hahn Cosmetics Coral Candy Blush. This is like exactly how I remember the Nars Orgasm blush being, right there below the bronzer. It's really just how exactly I described the Orgasm blush, a coral peachy pink with a gold sheen through it. Really gorgeous if you have medium to deeper skin tone. On me, I feel like it can be a little much, but if I use a light hand, I think it's pretty. These Hahn blushes are great, really affordable as well. So this reminds me a lot of the Nars Orgasm blush. So if you have liked that blush in the past and need a clean version of it, definitely check this one out from Hahn Cosmetics. I feel like I keep mentioning Nars products, but I really like Nars as a brand. I don't even know if it was because their products are good or just because I liked their packaging. Probably both. I feel like I was such a sucker for packaging back in the day. My favorite highlighter used to be the Nars Albatross highlighter, which is a really white highlight with a strong gold sheen through it. A clean product that reminds me a lot of that is the Alima Pure Luna highlight. It's basically the same thing. It's a white base, but it has a strong gold shift to it. I really like how they look on my skin. I don't know if you guys can even see that. I have so many swatches on my hand. It's right there. I have it on my cheeks now. I don't know if you guys can tell. I put a ton of it on, so hopefully. But anyway, this is a super soft formula. I actually just got this as well, but I'm really impressed with it. I want to pick up some more shades of this highlighter because I think it's really pretty. It does come in a loose form, which is different from the pressed Nars highlighter, obviously, but I feel like this one even looks better than I remember Nars Albatross looking. I remember all the Nars powders used to, like, when you use them, it would kind of get like that bumpy texture on them. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I just remember that happening, and like they're super expensive, so I was always annoyed that that happened. But yeah, this is beautiful. I like it better than Nars Albatross, and I think it's worth checking out. Moving on to eyebrows, the eyebrow product I used to be obsessed with was the Anastasia Dip Brow. I used the shade Taupe. You guys have probably heard of that as well. I was really big into like beauty gurus and watching beauty videos, so I always had like the new cult product that was out. I really love that for my brows because I had pretty sparse light brows. I really liked a pomade to fill them in. It lasted really long. So the product that, I think this is like one of the first clean brow products I ever picked up, and I've been using it ever since. This is the Eco Brow Pomade. I have the shade Sharon, which is the taupe shade. I've had this forever and I like just hit the bottom of it. This is beautiful. I like it more than the Anastasia Dip Brow. It really makes your brow hairs look so healthy. It's just as pigmented as the Dip Brow, but I feel like it's just so beautiful. It doesn't ever look cakey. It actually makes my brow hairs look healthier. I've been using it for a while now, and I feel like it's literally improved the health of my brow hairs, which is like amazing. It's like a 2-in-1 skincare and makeup product. This is a really beautiful eyebrow product. If you guys are geared toward more pigmented pomade type of brow products, this is a really good one to check out. They make a ton of shades as well. I got this off of the Detox Market, I believe. I will have everything linked below that I talk about. But yeah, this is a great product. I'm totally impressed. I mean, I haven't really tried a ton of brow products since picking this up because it's just been like my holy grail. You could put a powder over this as well to make it last a little bit longer, but I feel like on its own it lasts a pretty good amount of time. So yeah, I love this little guy. Moving on to the eye portion, my favorite conventional eyeliner was the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. Now this is not the cleanest eyeliner. I've talked about this before. It's just my favorite. It does have better ingredients than most, but still not like a clean eyeliner. It's the Physicians Formula Eye Booster in black. I just thought I would mention this because it is a dupe for the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. I think this has better ingredients than that one. But this eyeliner is great. It's a brush tip, super precise. I'm actually running out of this one. I have to pick up a new one. You can get the sharpest wings with this. more affordable than the Kat Von D one. And yeah, before I even switched to Clean Beauty, I replaced this with the Kat Von D one just because it was a lot cheaper. The Kat Von D eyeliner was $20, I believe. But yeah, this is a really great eyeliner. I mean, sorry it's not the cleanest. I haven't found a good clean eyeliner that's this precise yet. You guys have recommended the Zuzu Luxe eyeliner, which I'll have to pick up since a couple of you recommended it. But yeah, this is definitely a cleaner version of the Kat Von D tattoo liner. Next up, I want to talk about lips. I'm actually going to talk about another Kat Von D product I used to love, which is the what is the name of it? No, the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipsticks. I actually had 2 of those in my drawer that I just threw out because they were so old and I wasn't really using them. But anyway, the clean dupe for those lipsticks is the Spila Paint and Play Matte Lipsticks. These are really similar to that formula. If you like a super matte liquid lipstick that dries down to be like a true matte, it's really long wearing, really pigmented, just beautiful. That's it on my wrist there. This is the shade Flirt, I believe. Yeah, Flirt. Really pretty pink. I actually have it on my lips now with a little bit of gloss over it. But these are great. I totally need to pick up more shades. A total dupe for the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipsticks. Really long wearing, really beautiful. Really. These are great liquid lipsticks. I have nothing else to say. They're just really good and I love them. The last product I want to talk about is a gloss. I actually still have my old conventional favorite. I found this in a jacket pocket like a couple weeks ago and it was like so nostalgic. I probably need to throw this away. I'm not going to use it and it's probably expired. But this is the Marc Jacobs. What are these called? I don't know if it's Moon Glue. Moon Glue. What is that? The writing is so tiny. Their Enamored High Shine Lip Lacquer in the shade Moon Glow. I know Jaclyn Hill talks about one of these shades. It's just a really beautiful gloss, honestly. I will swatch this for you guys because why not? There is right there a really light pink nude shade. I used to love these glosses because they're not sticky at all. They're really creamy and they give you a good amount of pigment but not too much pigment to where it's like weird looking. Just really beautiful gloss. So the clean dupe I found for that are these Marie Nady glosses. I don't know what the shade of this is because the sticker came off. But these are so similar. I don't know if you can see that on my hand there. But if you guys don't like sticky lip glosses, you don't like how lip glosses feel on your lips, this one is so good. It's not sticky at all. Just like the Marc Jacobs one, it has a little bit of color to it, but it's not too pigmented. Gives you a good amount of shine. It doesn't like stick to any like dry skin weirdly. I picked this up off of Petit Vour. I think they still have them on their site. They have a couple different shades. I think they might even be on their sale page. But yeah, these are really beautiful glosses from Marie Nady. If you don't like a sticky gloss, this is your true love right here. That was it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to join me. Don't forget to give me a like. Comment below if you have any clean beauty dupes. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you again for watching and I will see you in my next video.